Hello and welcome back to another episode of Spilling Tea-quila. I'm your host Ariana Cantor, and we're gonna spill some more tequila because we haven't spilled enough already. I don't think I've ever explained this, but the tequila is humility. I sound so corny right now, but that's why I'm not like talking shit on a bunch of other people. I'm trying to talk shit on myself, spill humility, whoever comes on, spill humility on themselves, and we can learn some lessons from it. That's the goal. What has life been like lately? Life has been a little bit warmer outside. I'll take it. I did not do anything last weekend. I actually re-downloaded Raya last weekend, and I know that probably sounds crazy to anyone who listened to my dating app horror story. I didn't download it to go on a date, which probably sounds even crazier to anyone just in general who has ears. I did it because I was bored and I was like maybe a pen pal, but I don't think that's for the right reasons. And there's really not many people on Raya in Philadelphia, so it really gives me like different states, different countries. And I've been talking with a few guys in other countries, and I'm not going to go and meet them. In my mind, I kind of think while I'm traveling, if I make these connections, then maybe I'll be at the same place at the same time as someone else and we can meet up for a drink, or if I'm with my friends, they're with their friends. Yeah, this is to the extent that I've thought about it. Definitely not going to fly to another country or another state to go on a date at this point. And that's okay. But I do get bored when I'm not working on my podcast. Who wouldn't? Although I have to say, I've realized lately that when I don't have something to do, I'm like, oh, this feels great. But on the weekends, I'm like sitting there bored. And during the week, I was just happy I had nothing to do. So I need to make up my motherfucking mind. I need to be grateful when I have things to do. I need to be grateful when I don't have things to do. I feel like when I have things to do, I just put so much pressure on myself with timing, how is it going to go, and a lot of things that just go on in my mind to prepare to fully like show up to something for whatever the reason or cause is. And it's draining. By the time I'm done doing anything that has to do with like anyone else, I'm fucking tired. I'm beat. I do so much work on my own. I'm like, but I like helping others. I love it. So I'm not going to stop just sharing a little bit inside of my brain, because you asked the question and you wanted to hear it. You did not. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that all the topics I talk about are something I think about on the reg, something I'm passionate about, something I want to scream in a microphone, on camera, and display on the internet for people to watch and enjoy, hopefully. And today's topic is life doesn't end after your early 20s. Gotta get into it because I'm so intrigued by the narrative that it does. I'm going to speak in my own everything's my own opinion. Okay, we're just going to share some more of my opinions. I've gotten a lot of comments on my social media over the past few years saying that I'm too old to be posting on social media. Yeah, pretty much just a lot of age hate. And I'm 29. I have been posting on social media like heavily for the last 4 years. So since I was 25, I don't understand why I was supposed to be doing it only from 20 to 25. Because I'll get into that later, why those years would not have been anything great, or those years would not have been appropriate. And I see so many people that want to do something and they realized it, or they finally got the courage to later in their 20s or early 30s, but they feel like they missed their moment. And there is a lot of eyes on people in their early to mid 20s on social media. But the thing is, there is no one size fits all to anything in life. And if people are going to judge you for being too old at 29 years old, speaking from my own example, for posting on social media. Fuck them. Fuck them. It's pretty stupid. Also, when it comes to dating, thinking that you need to be tied down before you're in your 30s or you've missed your chance of getting into a relationship. Fuck them. Fuck what everyone thinks. The older I get, the wiser I get. Honestly, the hotter I'm getting, making sure of that. When I was younger, I had overeating and undereating issues. My body was not in shape. I have grown slimmer. Grew up, was the chubby kid when I was younger, and then really didn't know how to take care of my body in high school. I have like a curvy woman's body, which is great. I'm very grateful for it. But when I was younger, I just wanted to be a stick because that was like the image that everyone desired. So I had a lot of eating issues, and then food has always been like my comfort thing. So I overate a lot. Regardless, I've gotten slimmer. I did not work out when I was younger, and now I work out all the time. I did not meditate when I was younger, and now I meditate all of the time. When I was younger and in like more controlling environments, whether it was school and your house with your parents, I felt like I didn't have control over my life. And I remember always wanting to just have more control over my own life. And I really do feel like growing up gives me that control. Therefore, I choose what I learn. I become wiser. I take care of my body and my mind. I become hotter. And I've always been funny as fuck. But we can get funnier. We can get more funny. And I think I'm blessed to have this perspective on growing up because I know that's not everyone's perspective. I think I get it from my grandmother. My grandmother, who is no longer with us, she always celebrated another year older because she's like, we lived another year. And that's something that's always stuck with me on top of wanting to have more control over my life. Another thing about in the control aspect, I hear a lot of times that people miss high school or college or their like early 20s when life wasn't as serious. I don't feel that way. I think those memories were great, but I think I was so immature and I wasn't living to my full potential or attempting to. I also was insecure and immature. Not a great combo. Not a great combo at all. I had no clue who I fucking was. Not a clue. And as I grow older, I tend to figure out more and more who I am and who I want to be. And I don't know. I don't miss the days of just being so reckless. Like I can still be reckless when I want to, if I want to. And I guess that's because I'm in a situation where I don't have a family yet. I don't have kids. But at the same time, I'm okay with that. When and if I have a family, I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with not being in college and reckless or not being in high school and reckless. And we're not even into the early 20s yet. Early 20s, I do not know. Who says you're supposed to get married in them? Or who says like you're old after them? Because my early 20s, let's start off with, I've dodged my first divorce. If I would have married the person I was with in my early 20s, divorce number one. And it would have 100% been before I even got out of my 20s, hopefully. If I had a podcast in my early 20s, no mental health involved, no mental health, no direction. It would have been a shit show. And to have that displayed on camera, on social media, no thank you. I'd rather take the lessons I learned then and be able to work on myself and showcase what I've worked on and share the lessons, share the humility, and let the world know it's okay. We're going to hold each other's hand and we're going to get through this together. I did not love myself then. I was dating because I don't fucking know. I thought that was the fun thing, cool thing to do. Just whoever gives me the most butterfly feelings and most anxious attachment, that must be baby daddy right there. Run after and get your heart broken and fuck up your life a little bit. All in. It's a part of my journey. It's a part of my journey, and I learned a lot from it. And what I learned, I'm happy to help anybody in the world that is going through anything similar. So that's my good takeaway from it. The friends that I had in my early 20s, not all were bad, but like a lot of relationships were shitty. 20s were definitely, or have been, because I still have like half a year left, have been the decade of figuring out what kind of friendships I would like in my life. Before, I think I just wanted to be liked by people and wanted to have a bunch of friends. And I knew that I wasn't going to be mean to them or take advantage of them. And plot twist. Yep. Also, figuring out your career, you're supposed to have your career figured out in your early 20s. I've tried 8 different careers in my 20s, and I landed here where apparently I need to be younger. I need to go back in time to when I had no sense of self to pursue it. So ridiculous. Although I do feel like a lot of these opinions that are being given on 20s, being old by the time you get to 30, are from people that are still not 30 yet, people that are still in their 20s and younger. And that goes to show why you should take opinions like very loosely, and also look and see who this message is coming from, because the opinions are from people that are probably scared to be 30 because of what society has trained our minds to think and feel, and have not been 30. I'm sorry, but it's so mind-boggling to me. Let's say I live to 100. If I live to 100, then I have 70 years left on this earth. And when I was 29, I decided I was old, and I lived the rest of the next 70 years, double the age I'm at now. So another 30 years, and then another 30 years, and add 10. Double and a little bit more. Acting like I was old. No, thank you. I don't freaking understand it. And I think that it has held so many people back from taking a risk on themselves in so many different ways. People have settled in relationships because they don't think they're going to find love again after their 20s. And maybe that wasn't the relationship for them, but they're too scared to go back out in the world and take that risk. People have settled in careers for, I believe, like pretty much the same reason. Scared to find something else, scared to take a risk, scared to go without, scared of judgment from others, and probably with friends too, because there's a very large narrative that your friends should be the people that you've known forever. And a lot of people stay in friendships because they've been friends forever, where I think that's a beautiful thing to have friendships long term. You go through so many different growing pains, and it's someone that has known you at so many different levels of your life and has accepted you for it. And I think that is so beautiful, but not every friendship is like that. So just because you've been friends with someone for so long doesn't mean you have to remain friends with them. I have had that experience a few times where I have lost long-term friends, and people have said to me, you were friends with them for so long. And in my mind, I'm thinking, so I should let them treat me like shit? I should lower my value because the length of our friendship? No, thank you. I think that we don't recognize how things set us so far behind, whether it's a relationship that is no longer serving you a purpose, a career doing the same, or friendships. These 3 examples are things that impact our life so heavily, and when we ignore the red flags or staying something longer than we should, we're not caring about ourselves. we're not giving a shit about ourselves, and it sets us back from unlocking the next level to our full potential. That sounds like a video game shit, but I mean, it's for real. And I want to unlock every fucking level to my full potential. Anytime a door has closed in my life, beautiful. It takes time, but another one has opened and my life has changed so dramatically. I couldn't imagine being stuck where I was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because I stayed the same because that's what society trained my mind to think and feel. It's so bizarre. Stay the same, stay with the same people. Don't take a risk on yourself if it's scary, and just try to get lucky. Is that like the goal in life? When you have these deep conversations, and I love me a deep combo, you actually get down to like the meaning behind what you're thinking and feeling. And it's kind of like, the fuck? No, it doesn't make sense. But I feel at times that we're not having enough deep conversations. I love deep combos because it's a gain, a release, and a level of understanding. When you're having like surface level conversations, you leave them feeling shitty. And I have tried having deep conversations with a lot of people. I'm always trying to. Whoever's willing to have the deep convo with me, let's fucking go. Let's talk. And sometimes people look at me like I have 10 heads if I'm talking about, I don't know, just the thoughts in my mind. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Although I don't get offended easily anymore. In my early 20s, I did. And because I don't get offended so easily, I can recognize we're just at different wavelengths. I know that I haven't always been this way. It's something that I've grown into and have worked very hard to gain this level of understanding. So I'm not offended by it, but I do want to change the narrative if I can. With all of this being said, I do understand that some people do meet the love of their lives in their early 20s, maybe even before 20, do find their dream job, start their dream career in their early 20s before then, and do have friendships from sometimes since they were a little kid. There are exceptions. There are totally exceptions. There's, like I said, there's no one size fits all in life. And I think all of those things are incredible. I just don't want those to be the expectation of life. I want people to understand that their direction looks like no one else's. You're doing your own thing. You're figuring it the fuck out. You don't know what's going to come next. I love to meditate. And I would say that manifesting and meditation are a very important part of my life. I haven't really talked about it too much on here, but I'm definitely at like the highest form of manifesting and meditating that I've ever been in my life. I wouldn't even have known how to get here in my early 20s. And something I'm learning is everything in life that you're searching for and that you desire comes to you out of pure alignment. And what that means is the work you do on yourself aligns you more with your desires. And it's not something that's just handed to you. That's why at times we will get in bad careers or bad relationships or bad friendships because we're not doing the work on ourselves to be aligned with the things we actually want. So I had no idea how to do that in my early 20s or when I was a teenager. No fucking clue. I was trial and erroring the fuck out of life. Still am at times, but like bad. I know that there's so many other people that haven't gotten to this point of their life yet. So instead of recognizing that and having that as a topic of conversation or information that we take in and believe, we have a thought in our mind that we have to just settle for all of this shit because of what society hands us and has created. I just think that's I know that is such bullshit. And that's why we see these people that go and take a risk on themselves and they succeed because so many people aren't doing it. So many people aren't doing it. And the people that do, do, and they look like, oh, the chosen ones, the lucky ones. No, they just took the risk. You didn't. Like, if you choose to work on your mind, get in alignment, take a risk on yourself, find out what you actually want in life, you're probably gonna get it. Because think of it this way. You're saying no at this point to everything that you don't want, and you're narrowing everything down to what you do want. We tend to forget that there's a high divorce rate. I almost was a part of it. I almost was in the percentage. There's a high divorce rate. So we think that we meet our partner in our early 20s, have a family, and then life is beautiful forever. No. What happens is you are socially accepted for an extended period of time, however long your marriage lasts, and then you get to a certain point, a certain age, where you can't take it anymore. You're like, why the fuck am I in this? I still want what I wanted, and now I need to take even larger of a risk and get out of this marriage, and then still believe that it's out there for me. And I wish we looked at it from that perspective of someone who has gone through a divorce and is telling you their life still isn't over. And we could sit there and think, interesting. It's not just settle down, have kids, stay in this career, and life is beautiful forever. Or you want what you want. That doesn't change. I wish that we looked at things through those lenses, seeing things for what they are, not what society tells us. I rarely ever hear anyone say, I really want to date someone, but I keep in the back of my mind that the divorce rate in this world is high, so I'm being very selective and trying to find the one for me for now, because it still all could change. And I hear a lot of, when will I get married? When will I find my person? I just want to meet someone. I just want to be in a relationship. Blah, blah, blah. All of these things that are trying to force a relationship with someone, something, so that you can feel something inside. And I've been down that road. I have had so many different relationships in my 20s. Some were great. Some were fucking awful. Some just weren't it. Some, maybe if we met at a different time of our life, it would have worked. I've had so many different experiences, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that I did not settle, that because I thought that I had to, because there was a point in my life where I did think I had to. There was a point in my life where I thought I had to settle in the relationship, to get the ring. The babies needed to be on their way. I needed to have my forever career. I needed to check myself in somewhere because I kept losing friends. I was trying to hold on to these friends that were not my friends anymore. And I just thought there was something so wrong with me. I've said this before. There was something wrong with me. There was something wrong with having society set my expectations. But I didn't know any better. I truly think that, like, I'm not shaming anyone for any of this, because if there's someone that's in a relationship that wants to get out of it, I want them to know they can get out of it. So it's not like I'm shaming people that have settled down. I want people to know life does not end until it fucking ends. And until life does end, you are in charge of your life. You are the one narrating it. You're the one who controls how you feel. You are the one that can make the changes, and it's only you that can do that. So stop worrying about what people think about you. Stop worrying about what timeline you're supposed to be on, and just fucking do whatever. Do whatever feels good. Do whatever feels right. It could work for a bit and then it could not, but at least you're living your truth and not other people's. I see so many people in their 30s and 40s and 50s that are living their best goddamn life. I'm so excited to get into my 30s because I already feel the shift coming where I just don't give a fuck what anyone has to think about me. Where in my 20s, I cared so much about being accepted and what people thought about me. And I also was trying to figure out how to figure out what I want. Like, what? And I don't even think I was always being true to myself. I'm ready to be successful in my 30s. And for ladies, us entering our 30s feels like we can take a risk on ourselves. Like, we could be an entrepreneur if we want to. We could start a company. In my early 20s, I did not feel that way. And there are some girls that do, and that's incredible. But I don't think it's left and right. I think it's so normalized for a man to be an entrepreneur at a young age. But like, I don't hear that about females. And I see a lot of females who are boss bitches who started their businesses, their brands later in life. I'm talking late 30s, early 40s, 50s, 60s, and they become so incredibly successful. So how about we get ahead of the game and we start trying to figure out what we want in our 20s, and knowing that we can take a risk on ourselves in a business, in a brand, in whatever it is. And if we fail, that's okay. That's a part of the process. We keep going instead of just thinking like we need to go into corporate America. We need to figure out how to build up someone else's career. That's the one that gets me all the time. Like, I don't diss someone working for someone else, because sometimes there's the person that has a belief, and then there's other people that believe in that too. And that's how you build a successful business or brand together. But the people that are doing that, I don't think are going to hate on anyone else doing that. There are so many people that are like building someone else's company, and you're working for pharmaceuticals, okay? You're building someone else's company. You do not even necessarily believe in this, nor know what it is. And you're learning it, figuring it out to help someone build their company. So you're caring about their company, and you're going to hate on someone else who's building something they believe in and or helping someone build that. I don't hate on either end. I just like getting to an understanding of what we're actually looking down on each other for, and then seeing if we really even feel that way, or if it's just society's narrative around it that confuses us. Because it really all can just be a little confusion. So I guess the takeaways from this are: we can be young and hot forever. Working out, eating healthy, meditating, Botox. There are solutions out there, and there is nothing wrong with them. We can not settle, and that means settle in relationships. And that means even if you're in a relationship, even if you have kids, whatever it is, wherever you're at in life, whatever age it is, you deserve what you want, and you deserve not to settle. Same with careers. I don't care how scary it is. It's always going to be scary when you're doing something you want to do, because not everyone else feels what you feel inside. So surround yourself with people that are doing what they would like to, and they'll build you up. Easy fix. And you can have fun forever. Like, I know some people that get out of relationships in their 40s, and maybe they were married for years, whatever length it was, whatever, just gets out of the relationship. And then they go on a little bar crawl, party, bender, nation shit, and they want to look fun and hot and all of that and get themselves back out there. That's not just an early 20s thing. Like, let's just throw away the judgment of an age. When we see the grandmas or grandpas on TikTok dancing, drinking, saying stupid shit, living their best life, we're encouraging them and we're loving it, and we're making them go viral. Why wouldn't we do that for everyone else? Do we have to be young and dumb in our early 20s, and then we can't be young and dumb again until we're a grandmom and grandpa? No, we can be young, dumb, fun, hint of intelligence forever. Trying to be on the pursuit of being intelligent. Yeah, I don't know. Congratulate yourself on every year. Make a list of things you've learned so far in your 20s. If you remember the years you've learned the things, and take it as a little like pat on your back. And haven't got divorced yet. Your life is going to go however it's going to, and fuck what anyone thinks if you're not harming them. Let's normalize that. Okay, let's get into some questions. First question. Do I need to start asking guys out? Do I need to learn the game and start approaching guys I'm into? I'm apparently conventionally hot, but also ADHD. And I've always been into nerdy, quirky guys. They don't approach me, but confident douchebags often do. And in the past, I've had toxic relationships that don't work out. Looking back, I wasn't actively interested in the first place, but they were the ones asking and persistent. I'm not saying what I've done is good or right. I'm just being honest. Love honesty. I think it shouldn't go one way or another. Like, I love a masculine man who is going to take the time, energy, and effort in the beginning to approach me and set things up. That's something that I like and I desire. But at the same time, if I were to go and pursue the man as well and give the effort back, I would hope that the effort is still coming in my direction. So I don't think it's bad if you go and give effort to a guy first, because if they shoot you down, that's not your person. I think that you can't fuck up the right thing. And I see a lot of successful relationships where the girl pursued the guy first and it was just meant to be and it was fate, and their guy treats them like a queen. I think it's totally normal. You just have to be ready to get shot down. But also know that what you want is out there. And if these guys aren't pursuing you, do you actually want them? Do you want someone who's not willing to take a risk on you? So it might be a little lonely, but keep your standards high. Am I taking my boyfriend's comments too personally, or is he negging me? I've been with my boyfriend for 10 months. He's great, and I really care for him a lot. So much of our relationship is great, but sometimes, quite often, he makes me feel bad. He negs quite a lot and is aware of it as he makes jokes about it. He seems to think it's just banter, but I've told him some of the things he says makes me feel bad or makes me feel like he's putting me down. Some previous comments I've mentioned to him are comparing me to his ex. This has stopped now, but it killed my self-worth. Or saying things about her body, how great her ass, body, boobs were. Talking about their sex life. Comments about my body, in quotation marks. You could get some more muscle behind your ass. He told me countless times that I should grow a backbone. He made it clear he doesn't like me wearing foundation. Okay, I've read enough. He's a narcissist. I'm so sorry to say that to you, but a narcissist will tell you that you don't have a backbone when they're the one who gains off of you not having a backbone. It's pretty sick. They're putting you down by projecting. They don't think they're worthy of you, and they're projecting on you. And that's awful. Anyone who makes you feel bad about yourself is the problem. And they gaslight you, so you feel like you're the problem, but it's not you. And I'm so sorry to hear that you're going through that. I know how fucking confusing it can be. I know it's not as easy as just knowing they're a narcissist and running, but I hope that can give some light at the end of the tunnel, that there's a lot better out there. Right now you have the bottom, and it's only up from there as long as you take the time to heal and work on yourself. Okay. I feel like I'm a crazy girlfriend. I have always thought looking up girls on social media was disrespectful. My boyfriend doesn't see it as a problem, as finding other people attractive is part of human nature. I do agree, but going out of your way to look up OnlyFans girls and girls in our area is heartbreaking. I feel a little crazy, especially because I don't go out of my way to look at men on social media or find many men attractive. He doesn't care to hide it or to tell me that I'm crazy for being upset and having to worry about it constantly. I've talked to a few friends about this and they're telling me to break up with him, but even the thought of leaving makes me sad. I'm stuck and just want to vent. Okay, well, it sounds like you know the answer, but you're avoiding it. Although, let me say, every relationship has its own dynamics and its own rules. And you define those rules and dynamics with your partner by being great at communication with one another and great at communicating what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. I know I wouldn't be okay with this scenario, so I would be very open and honest about that. And if me and my partner weren't seeing eye to eye, it probably wouldn't work. But there are some relationships that people date multiple people in their relationships. It doesn't sound like that's what you want, but I just want to be open and fair about this question. Like, if you're not okay with him doing this, which you clearly just said, and you communicated it and nothing has changed, that's not your person. Because maybe he needs someone who is okay with those things. You know, I don't think you're going to find that left and right, but he needs to understand that. And so do you. Someone else's opinion isn't going to make that right or wrong, you know, by him looking up other girls. Like, I think it's fucked up. I think it's so fucked up, and you made it clear that you're not comfortable with it, but it also sounds like you know your answer. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. I don't know. That's a tough one because you really ended it with, I have to vent. You're right, but what the fuck are you going to do about it? That's my answer. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please subscribe, comment, like if you like what I'm doing here, if you enjoy it. Ask whatever questions, reach out to me, even if it's something, you know, that you don't want on the podcast. Always feel free to reach out. We can talk, interact. And I will see you same time, same place next week. Mwah.